So let's come back to the DSE asking about factorization first. Okay. The first lesson, I'd like to talk about the remaining questions about factorization. Okay. And then in the second lesson, I will start talking about questions involving remainder theorem and factor theorem. Okay. So these are the questions, the list of questions. So let's do one together first, and I'll give you time to do the remaining. You ready? Ready? So 16.04. So we have 3 parts this time. Are you happy seeing part A? It's like Form 1 level, right? Oh, what should we do? For part A. See?整個儀器出嚟 ，part A 喎。You have an idea? Ria, any idea? Take out the one, sorry. What number? Take out the what? Yes. Yes. Okay, take out the common factor. And in this case, the common factor is 5. Okay, so take out the common factor 5 and write down the remaining factor. So what is the remaining factor? M. And then minus 2n. Yes, okay. Anything else we can do in this part? Nothing. So that is the answer of part A. Come on. Part B. And we have m squared plus mn minus 6n squared. Okay, this time we have square term here. Okay, and we have 2 variables, m and n. Is there any common factor which we can take out? No matter it is number or letters, we have common factor for all the terms. Is m a common factor? Is n a common factor for all the terms? No. No. M is a factor of the first 2 terms, right? And then n is the factors of the last 2 terms. So it's not qualified to be a common factor. 要係全部 term 都有個 factor 先至係 common factor 呢個嚟講，得唔得 ？Okay, so there is no common factor. So we go to formula 1 directly. Okay, so we are going to factorize this to be like this. Okay, and then we use formula 01 where A is, what is A? Can you tell me? A is 1 and B is, what is B? 1 and C is negative 6. Negative 6. Can you get this? And then from the calculator, what do you get? What are the 2 numbers you got from the calculator? 2 and negative 3. Okay, so just write down this 2 and then negative 3. And what shall we write here in order to get the 2 brackets? Give me that. 如果你有兩個未知數嘅 ，OK， 邊個行先，邊個行後㗎？呢個嚟講係咪 M 行先 ，N 行後嘅 ？So we are going to write M over N is equal to 2. And then the other one will be M over N is equal to -3 in the draft only, okay? And then because there is a fraction, so we need to multiply the denominator to the opposite side. So just multiply the n to the right here. So m is equal to 2n. And the other part will be m equals -3n. And move the term to the left. Okay, to make the right hand side equals 0. So m minus 2n equals 0. And the other part is m plus 3n equals 0. When there is no more fraction and when the right hand side becomes 0, then the left hand side will be your two brackets. Okay, so the first bracket will be m minus 2n. So this one should be m minus 2n, and then the second bracket will be m plus 3n. Okay. Remember that you don't need to write down anything from this line. Okay, you just need to write down these two brackets. Will be okay. Will be full mark. 得唔得？唔好寫下邊啲嘢啊！呢啲喺個 draft 草稿紙嗰度寫，唔好喺個 solution 度寫。你驚唔驚到？我驚你寫多咗嘢嘅話咧，係會寫錯嘢嘅，得唔得？呢啲咧撳機呢啲咧，其實係啲即係茅招嚟嘅。OK， 我哋唔好俾人知道我哋出茅招，得唔得？我哋當係自己計咁樣，咁得啦。And then part C. Part C, we have m squared plus mn minus 6n squared minus 5m plus 10n. 好，一定咁，最尾嗰 part 一定咁樣係嘛？We divide the question into two groups. How many terms are there in the first group? So, which terms should be in the first group? Yeah. But do you understand my question? How many terms should be in the first group? Okay, so you understand my question or not? Understand? Or don't know how to do it? So I want to divide into two groups. Okay, sorry, I can't hear you. So the first three terms is actually the question in part B, right? So it should be they should be grouped in the same bracket. And then the two groups should always be contained by plus. Okay, and then the remaining terms will be just put in the second bracket. And for the first group, we just use the results of part B to be m minus 2n and m plus 3n. And then for a second group, it is looks very similar to the question in part A. Can you see this? But in part A, we have positive 5m minus 10n. Now we have negative 5m plus 10n. It's completely opposite. And that will be good because we can amend this by taking out a negative sign. Okay? So it becomes minus 5m minus 10n. Okay? Just change all the signs within the bracket to be its opposite when you take out the negative sign. And then we can also use the result of part A part A will be 5 times m minus 2n, right? To change this to be 5 times m minus 2n. Can you get this? And then instead, we can find the second layer of common factor, which is m minus 2n. And then we just take out the common factor. And open the bracket. And the remaining term will be like this. And we just remove the small bracket here. And we check whether we have like terms to be calculated or not. So we have m term, n term, and constant term. All of them are unlike terms. So that's the answer. OK。嗱，通常咧啲同學咧會做咗呢度啦，即係做到用到 A part result 或者 B part result 到呢度。通常啲同學咧，即係要我下啲同學咧，就會唔記得咗咧，原來再有 common factor 可以抽出嚟嘅，咁就會 miss 咗最後個分咁樣啦。OK， 你記得咧呢一種題目咧，即係好似咁多年嚟咧都係咁樣出㗎啦，都係之後咧會再有得抽嘅，所以千祈唔好忘記咗呢一部分。OK， so can you get this? Now, I would like to give you some time to work on the other problems. So let's do this. So I'll give you 10 minutes. To work on the remaining 5 problems, 17.03, 18.05, and so on. 嗱，年年都有出嘅，見唔見到啊？冇一年係冇㗎。喺做數據呢啲點呀？嗱，一定要做到㗎啦。然之後我呢啲做唔到嘅話咧，我就係。 Yes.有啲同學我見到咧仲係有少少迷思咧，就係咁有個 common factor， 你抽佢出嚟啊，定係約咗佢咧 ？OK， 呢個咧係冇得約嘅喎，即係冇等式嘅兩邊就冇得約 common factor 嘅，你要抽個 common factor 寫佢出嚟解 ，OK， 唔係約咗佢啊。啊。Have you done 17.03? So can you check the answer? Is your answer correct? Come on, it's okay.我解一次啊。第一樣嘢分組 ，OK？ 點樣分組啊？你見到咧 A part 嘅題目係咪喺 B part 嘅某一部分裏邊係見到 A part 嘅題目嘅？咁將佢哋括住佢擺做一組，剩翻嗰啲當係第二組。但係咧，第一組同埋第二組之間一定係用個加號去楞住嘅。一定3個㗎。總之你見到係上面嗰 part 嘅題目係咪一模一樣㗎？上面嗰 part 題目，咁就係一組咯，就係咁啦。OK， 如果你見到前面啲 part 嘅題目嘅話咧， 就要係咁樣一組㗎啦，得唔得？跟住剩翻嗰啲就自己係一組 ，OK？ 好啦，用加號嚟諗住。好啦，跟住呢度咧係咪上面嘅題目嚟㗎？就攞翻上面嘅答案，抄翻上面嘅答案。跟住後邊嗰組咧，通常就會有 common factor 可以抽出嚟嘅。今次11x 減33y 嘅 common factor 咧係咪11啊？咁我哋咪抽個11出嚟咯，得唔得？然之後寫翻剩翻啲乜嘢嘢，係咪 x 減3y 咁樣啊？呢度跟唔到？好啦，跟住咧前邊呢一嚿大嚿嘢係咪有個 x 減3y 呢一個 factor 喺度？後邊咧亦都有 x 減3y 呢個 factor 喺度。咁佢哋咧就係一個 common factor 嚟啦。啊，所以咧我哋有抽埋個 x 減3y 出嚟，即係呢度第一個 term 抽咗呢一 group 係咪剩翻 x 減 y 啊？加第二個 term 抽咗 x 減3y 係咪剩翻11啊 ？OK， 咁呢度咧我拆翻個細圖之後，睇一睇有冇得再有 like terms 可以加得埋一齊嘅。冇嘅話咧，呢度就係答案嚟啦。係嘛？呢個係咪 x term？ 呢個係 y term？ 呢個係數字 term？ 全部加埋嘅，咁就收工啦。記唔記到？得唔得？全部都係咁樣做嘅啫。Okay, do you have any more problems for 17.03? And then, so I need to speed up a little bit. Yeah, working. And for 18.05 part B, so can you see that I group the first two terms into the same bracket, and then the last two terms in the second bracket with a plus connecting the two brackets. Okay, although this term is negative, I just put negative following this term. Okay, just copy that into the second bracket, and then the connection is always plus. Okay. And then for the first bracket, I use the result from part A. So that should be 9r squared times r minus 2s. And then for the second bracket, I check for the common factor. Okay? Is there any common factor from the second bracket? It should be s squared, right? Good. So take out the s squared and then copy, write down the remaining factor. First term should be minus r and then plus 2 times s. Can you get this? And then we should also check for further common factor. This is r minus 2s, but this is negative r plus 2s. Again, the sign, positive negative signs are completely opposite. So we should take out the negative sign from the second bracket. So first bracket is just copy. And then the plus becomes minus. And then the minus r becomes positive r. Plus 2s becomes minus 2s. Can you get this? So this r minus 2s becomes a common factor. So let's take the common factor out. So r minus 2s. And then what is remaining is 9r squared minus s squared. Okay? Is that the end? I'm so sorry. That's not the end yet. Okay? Because, yes, because this 9r squared minus s squared can be written as a squared minus b squared format, like this. 3r bracket square minus s square, right? So it can can be written as a squared minus b squared. So we can use the identity a plus b times a minus b to further factorize it. Okay, so the final answer becomes r minus 2s, and then this a plus b, that is 3r plus s, times a minus b, that is 3r minus s. Are you correct? 有冇做到最後呢個 step？ 嗱，都係啊，弟弟。嗱，做到有 R 二次加 S 二次咧，都已經叻㗎啦。不過唔係最叻，因為咧，我今次咧，佢仲要考多你呢樣嘢嘅，得唔得？咁你記住喎，如果有啲乜嘢二次減乜嘢二次嗰啲咧，你就諗一諗會唔會係可以用到 A 二次減 B 二次嗰啲 identity 咧去做啦 ？OK， so that is the answer. Next， 可能我講多一條先啦，跟住就講remainder theorem 啦。19.04 4m squared minus 9. What should we do here? What formula or what identity can we use for this 4m squared minus 9? It's always like this. Because we know that 9 can be written as 3 squared, and 4m squared can be written as 2m bracket squared. So again, it is the format of a squared minus b squared. So we are going to use the identity a plus b times a minus b to factorize this. Okay? Can you follow? Come on, it is always like this. Don't think it is very difficult. Okay, it's always like this. 嗱，唔好覺得呢啲係特別好有心思咁樣考你哋啊。OK， 即係求其出嘅啦呢啲，得唔得？成日都係咁樣做嘅啦。OK， 你真係要記一記嘅有陣時啲嘢。And part B. So we have 2m squared n plus 7mn minus 15n. Can you tell me what should be the first step here? Huh? Yes, what is the common factor? Yes, can you see that there is a common factor? 嗱，唔好以為有3個 terms 就一定係用 Formula 1先喎。OK？ 我講過啦，任何一種嘅題目咧，第一樣嘢都係 check 有冇 common factor 先嘅，有嘅話一定要抽佢出嚟先嘅。OK， so there is a common factor n. Let us take out the common factor n and write down the remaining factor. 2m squared plus 7m minus 15. Okay, and then what can we do for the terms inside the bracket here? This would be formula 1. Okay. Where A is 2, B is 7, and C is negative 15. Can you do it? What are they? So I think it should be should get negative 5 and 3 over 2. Yes. Is it negative 5 and 3 over 2? Okay, so at this time there is only one letter, m. So it's m equals negative 5 and m equals 3 over 2. So the two bracket will be m plus 5 and 2m minus 3. Can you get this? So we have done part A and part B. Then let me paste it here first. Part C. It's 4m squared minus 9 minus 2m squared n minus 7mn plus 15n. What can you find from this line? You can find 4m squared minus 9, which is exactly the same as the question in part A. So group these two terms to be inside the bracket. And then always plus the second group. The other terms will be minus 2m squared and minus 7mn plus 15n. Yes. Sorry. Go to second group. Yes. Okay, and then 4m squared minus 9 will be changed to the answer of part A. That is 2m plus 3, 2m minus 3. And then for the second group, it looks like the question in part B, but the positive negative signs are completely opposite. So again, just take out the negative sign from the second group. So it becomes minus, and then change the sign of every term. So a 2m squared n, and then plus 7mn minus 15n. And you'll find that this will be exactly the same as the question in part B. And then we can use the results in part B again. Okay? So 2m plus 3, 2m minus 3 is unchanged. And then for the second bracket, it is n times m plus 5 times 2m minus 3. Can you follow? Is that the end? No. Okay, when you see two big terms, okay, doing subtraction, then you should check for the common factor. Okay, what is the common factor here? 2m minus 3. Okay, so take out the common factor, and then open a bracket, and then write down the remaining factor with the small bracket protecting it first. And then for the second group, there is an n times m plus 5 here. And then we will remove the small bracket. So 2m minus 3, no change. And then 2m plus 3. And we have minus n times m. And minus n times 5. So we have minus mn, minus 5n. Can you understand this step? Okay, from this to this. Okay? And we should check whether there are like terms which can be calculated. Okay? But this is m term. This is number term. This is mn term. This is n term. Okay? All of them cannot be calculated, cannot be added or subtracted. So that is the answer. Okay?我想問你哋，有冇信心做 A part 自己做 ？A part 就 OK。B part 咧，C part 嘅呢一度信得做到。OK 嗱，我唔 expect 大家做，可能真係做到最尾嘅。但係咧，第3分啊，呢度係4分嘅，呢度1分，呢度1分，第3分係去到邊度咧？就係要用到呢一個位，即係咧要用到 A part 嘅 result 同埋用到 B part 嘅 result 得唔得？呢個係第3分嚟嘅。OK， 你抽埋個 common factor 啦，跟住寫啱咗，剩翻啲 factor 之後咧，就攞埋第4分啦，咁樣。OK。嗱，我希望大家起碼咧有信心攞到頭3分嘅呢度，得唔得？即係做到 A part 啦、B part 啦呢啲簡單嗰啲啦，同 話咧喺 C part 裏邊咧係可以用得翻 A、B part 嘅 result 咁樣嘅。OK。All right, so I would like to do some remainder theorem and factor theorem. Let me see. I would like to go to the multiple choice problem first, okay? Because the remainder theorem, factor theorem problems in law question will be difficult problems, okay? But this topic in MC will be simple problems, okay? Let's start with this simple problem. Let's go to 12.04 MC, which is on page 8. Is it page 8? Yes. Page 8, 12.04. The multiple choice part. Now, 我相信呢一部分咧，你哋會覺得容易掌握啲嘅，因為咧好單一其實呢度 ，OK， 即係你見到啲咩字眼就見啲咩色咁樣嘅啫 ，OK， 亦都唔會有啲好勁複雜嘅計算。K is a constant such that this long expression is divisible by x plus 3. What is meant by divisible? Can be divided. Please highlight this keyword. Divisible means remainder is 0. Remainder is 0. Okay. So what or how can we calculate the remainder? It is like this. Remainder is always equal to f number. So let me do this. F number. Okay. And what is the number that we should put inside this bracket? Depends on this x plus 3. Okay. In a draft, you put x plus 3 equals 0, and then calculate the value of x. So it is very easy. If x plus 3 is equal to 0, what is x? Negative 3. Yes, thank you. Hello? Put this to be 0, and then calculate x, and then the answer of x will be the number we need to put into the fx, okay, to calculate the remainder. So the remainder should be equal to f negative 3, okay? But what is fx? Fx is this expression. So if fx is this one, then f negative 3. So let me write this down first. Fx is x cubed plus 4x squared plus kx minus 12. Then f negative 3 should be negative 3 to the power of 3 plus 4 times negative 3 squared plus k times negative 3 minus 12. And then we use the calculator to calculate this term by term. So negative 3 to the power of 3 is negative 27, and then plus 4 times negative 3 bracket squared should be 36, plus k times negative 3 is plus and minus. Then it becomes minus, and the term is 3k, and then minus 12. And then we just use the calculator to calculate the numbers. Negative 27 plus 36 minus 12 should be negative 3. Am I correct? Sorry, 4. No, 3, sorry. Yes, 3, yes. And then minus 3k. Can you follow? This is our remainder. This is our remainder. But this keyword suggests us that the remainder should be equal to 0. Therefore, I should put my remainder to be equal to 0. Therefore, -3 minus 3k is equal to 0. And from this equation, you can calculate the value of k. Can you see this? So -3k is equal to 3, which means that k is -1. And the question just asks us to find the value of k, right? Is it? Yes. So the answer is option B. Can you find where is the concept in my solution? What is the concept I have used? What, sorry? Remainder is equal to f number. Okay, f number. That number is calculated from this x plus 3. Okay, when you put x plus 3 into 0, then this number will be the f number to calculate the remainder. And also, the keyword divisible means that the remainder is equal to 0. Okay, so I can set up an equation involving the unknown k to calculate the value of k like this. Can you see? 喂，我想問一問你哋，其實睇唔睇得清楚啲字啊？睇唔清楚，因為啱啱校長上次咪睇堂嘅，佢話佢自己坐喺後邊啦，睇得唔係好清楚。你哋其實清唔清楚㗎？你哋清楚？OK， 即係後生又清楚啦。係啊 ，OK。冇講啊，冇講。I didn't say it. Okay, do you understand this? Let's do the next one. $13.09. $13.09. So let's fx with this expression. K is a constant. If fx is divisible by x plus 1, okay. Can you highlight this? Divisible. And write down the meaning. The meaning of divisible means remainder equals 0. Okay? Okay. It is divisible by x plus 1. So when I put x plus 1 to be 0 in the draft, x is -1, and then the remainder is calculated by f -1. But we have the formula of fx. So we can really calculate f -1. F -1 is calculated by -1 to the power 13 minus 2 times -1 plus k. And then you just use the calculator to do the calculation turn by turn. -1 to the power 13 should be -1. And then double negative becomes plus. 2 times 1 is 2. And then plus k. -1 plus 2 is +1 plus k. Can you get this? And this is our remainder. But question tells you that it is divisible. Means that our remainder should be equal to 0. Therefore, 1 plus k should be equal to 0. And then we can calculate the value of k, which is -1. Is that okay? Is that the answer? Careful. Question is not asking you to find the value of k. Okay? This is just the beginning. Okay, we have found the unknown. The question asks to find something else. Something else. Find the remainder when fx is divided by x minus 1. This time, I want to find the remainder. Find the remainder when fx is divided by x minus 1. I use the same knowledge, same concept. Remainder is equal to f number. You see this? Remainder is equal to f number. This time, what should I put for the number? For the f number? 1. Yes, very good. Because fx is divided by x minus 1. When I put x minus 1 to be 0, x is equal to 1. And what will be the number that I need to put into this bracket? Okay, so the remainder is equal to f1. Okay, and we have the formula of fx, so we can really calculate f1. It's 1 to the power 3 minus 2 times 1 plus, 13. Thank you. 13. Yes, 1 to the power 13 minus 2 times 1 plus k. But k has been found to be -1. So it becomes -1 here. And you just use the calculator to do it term by term. 1 to the power 13 is 1. And -2 minus 1. That should be equal to -2. And that is the remainder. And that is what we want to find. The question asks us to find the remainder, right? Okay, so we are finding the remainder now. Can you get this? So the answer is option D. Okay. 我想問你哋呢度明唔明？即係點解會做咗2次 remainder？ 一次就係題目俾我哋嘅資料嚟嘅。OK， 就係題目話當佢除 x 加1嘅時候，個 remainder 等於0。OK， 即係 divisible 啦，可以俾佢正除嘅。所以當佢除 x 加1嘅時候，個 remainder 等於0啊。我就用呢個資料咧，去計到個未知數出嚟先。好啦，計咗未知數 k 等於1之後咧，成條數冇晒未知數喎啊，冇嘢未知㗎啦。咁佢問我啲咩都好啦，我都識得答佢啦。咁佢再問我啲咩啊？就係問我當 f(x) 係除 x 減1嘅時候，個 remainder 係等於幾多咧？咁樣，咁係咪又係問翻我一樣嘢㗎？即係問你個 remainder， 我哋又用翻 remainder 等於 f number 呢一招咧，去解答佢。得唔得？明白 ？OK， one more。16.06 夠晒啦。Yes, let's do it together. Come on. And can you highlight the keyword? So fx is divisible by 2x plus 1. Okay? Divisible means remainder equals 0. Okay? So when it is divided by 2x plus 1, remainder should be 0. When you put 2x plus 1 to be 0, then you'll find that x is -1/2. Okay? So the remainder should be equal to f -1/2. But we have the formula of fx, so we can really calculate this. Okay, and then you do the calculation term by term, should be like this. Okay, and this is our remainder. This is our remainder. When you simplify, it should be like this. And then, because the question tells us that fx is divisible by this, so this remainder should be equal to 0. Okay, so 5/2 is equal to k/2, which means that k is 5. Okay, but the question is not asking us to find the value of k. The question asks us to find the remainder when fx is divided by x plus 1. Okay, we need to find the remainder. And this time it is divided by x plus 1. So remainder is equal to f number. What number? This time? 如果 x 加嘅話咧，咁我代個咩數落去㗎？計個 remainder。Should be like this. So the answer is -6. That is option B. Is that okay? 嗱，都話夠時間㗎啦，係咪？ Yes, perfect time. Okay, so please remember to bring this back tomorrow.